The epic tales behind Call of Duty will exist in our minds forever. From Call of Duty 4 up until Infinite Warfare, the storytelling behind the campaign was undoubtedly some of the best work from the franchise. Stories written with characters that define the Call of Duty campaign that we all know and love. From the iconic heroes whose valor echoes through each title, to the enigmatic villains whose shadows loomed over the narratives, this is a deep dive into the characters who've shaped the very essence of Call of Duty. As we navigate through the harrowing landscapes of war, we'll encounter characters whose names have become synonymous with bravery and sacrifice, while other names are closer to tyranny and evil. So we welcome you to come along and explore the narratives that have captivated millions and the characters who become legends. This is more than just a game. It's a demonstration of the power of great storytelling. Join us as we analyze the complex tapestry of its heroism and villainy. Let's begin with the man who was there since the beginning, Captain John Price, a stalwart figure since the early days. Price actually made his first appearance in the very first Call of Duty game. However, the first Call of Duty took place during the time of World War II, leaving one to speculate that the Captain Price we see in the first Call of Duty could possibly be the father of the Captain Price we see in the Modern Warfare series. Price's steely resolve and tactical brilliance have led us through the Modern Warfare series. His iconic mustache and unforgettable quotes have etched him into the pantheon of gaming legends. For the first two Modern Warfare installments, Captain Price was typically assisting you with eliminating the antagonist of the game, where you ultimately do the bidding. In the first Modern Warfare, Price will slide you a handgun to take out Zakhaev, and in Modern Warfare 2, he would combat General Shepard to give you enough time to launch a knife into his eye. However, in the Modern Warfare 3 campaign, players are given the opportunity to finish the series as Captain John Price himself, to avenge the death of his brother-in-arms, John McTavish. The first real villain that is introduced to us in Call of Duty is Imran Zakhaev, who was chairman for the Russian ultranationalist party. Zakhaev is a villain who blames Western countries for Russia pimping out his beloved homeland that ultimately ruined the economy and culture. His plan was to rise to power and have access to nuclear weapons. Zakhaev would also make friends with Khalid al-Assad, where he ordered his son Viktor to send President al-Fulani to his execution. This execution led to the United States sending thousands of troops to invade the Middle East, an effort that would soon be crushed by a nuclear bomb detonated by al-Assad but provided by Zakhaev. In Modern Warfare 3, it is also revealed that Vladimir Makarov was the one that gave al-Assad the order to actually detonate the bomb. The bomb dropped in the Middle East would kill over 5,000 soldiers, and that number doesn't include al-Assad's army that was left behind. Zakhaev was deemed a terrorist and a global threat. He had to be stopped. The SAS team, led by Captain John Price, would make efforts to ruin a second bomb from being launched. However, after successfully stopping the bomb, they would need to make an escape as Zakhaev's private army is chasing after them. This chase would ultimately be the end of Zakhaev as he makes the fatal mistake of thinking you are already dead. Master Sergeant Frank Woods, the grizzled and unyielding soldier from the Black Ops series, has been a constant presence, offering players a glimpse into the raw reality of war and the toll it takes on its warriors. Woods made his debut in the first Black Ops game, where you are tasked to eliminate Fidel Castro during the Bay of Pigs invasion. Woods is a character with as much bravado and valor as that of Captain Price or John McTavish. It's safe to say that Frank Woods must have gone through the worst possible aspects that war had to offer. The first time Woods gets caught in the series is along with Alex Mason and Bowman, where you are introduced with a harrowing scene where the Viet Cong are forcing you to play Russian roulette. The same mission unfortunately ends with Frank Woods sacrificing himself to save Alex Mason, a moment that confirmed his death for a while. That was until Black Ops 2 was released, and we learned that Woods and Kravchenko both survived the explosion. Kravchenko would then capture Frank and send him to a prisoner of war camp where he would be saved by Alex Mason. It is also a well-known fact that Frank Woods is the reason that Raul Menendez escalated as a terrorist after accidentally having his little sister killed while trying to capture him. In the perfect ending to Black Ops 2, Woods is reunited with his long-lost friend, Alex Mason, who he thought had died. A joyous conclusion for a troubled character. General Shepard, the Machiavellian puppet master, revealed the darker side of military leadership. His betrayal in Modern Warfare 2 sent shockwaves through the gaming world. General Shepard executing Ghost and Roach is still considered one of the saddest moments in gaming history. This sentiment is very appropriate, since Shepard's betrayal was written and shot with cinematic intent as the player helplessly watches Shepard shoot them and burn their bodies. Ghost and Roach would receive the untimely news that Shepard was not to be trusted, but the effort was in vain, as the call was made as their bodies burned. Shepard's betrayal, while surprising, can actually be foreshadowed by the infamous catchphrase that the game repeats throughout the story.
Since when does Shepard care about danger close?
Since when does Shepard care about danger?
This well-known fact about Shepard could imply to the player that he was particularly careless when it comes to the troops that he deployed. Because he was careless, he was more prone to loose ends. He also admits that the soldiers that died from the nuclear bomb in the first Modern Warfare were his men, further explaining how Shepard never cared about danger close protocols. Shepard's corrupt tyranny as a military leader would end as Captain Price and SOAP pursue him and ultimately take him out. Who knows what other madness would have ensued if General Shepard had not been stopped. Captain John "Soap" McTavish, a central figure in the Modern Warfare series. Soap's journey from a raw recruit to a battle-hardened leader is etched into our memories. Soap would not have any spoken lines until the second installment of the Modern Warfare series. However, Soap's first greatest feat in the game would be taking out Imran Zakhaev, a moment that would define the cinematic value that the Modern Warfare series had to offer. The first time we get to see Soap in the flesh is in the cliffhanger level in Modern Warfare 2. There we are met with the hardened veteran as he displays his military prowess, silently combating through the mission. This is the mission that shows us just how much of an effective special ops soldier he really is. At the end of Modern Warfare 2, he saves the day yet again as he is able to pull out a knife that General Shepard stuck him with, and sends it back into his eye. However, John "Soap" McTavish would meet his unfortunate fate in Modern Warfare 3 when he tries to snipe Makarov. Makarov was informed of the sniping position and was able to plant a bomb in their coop. Soap would not survive the explosion, leading to arguably the saddest death in the whole series, as Captain Price hysterically weeps over his lifeless body. Salen Kotch, the antagonist from Infinite Warfare. His charismatic yet ruthless demeanor added a layer of complexity to the narrative, showcasing the constant struggle between order and chaos. Salen's biggest appeal might just come from the fact that he's being played by Kit Harington, also known as Jon Snow from HBO's Game of Thrones. Salen was a man who was not afraid to spare his own men. He demonstrates this wickedness at the beginning of the game. Despite not being too popular as a Call of Duty villain, his villainous scheme, compared to any other villain in the franchise, would have had the most heinous and chaotic outcome. Salen Kotch waged war against the entire planet Earth, an act that can only be seen in that of a Star Wars film. Kotch would then be defeated by the United Nations Space Alliance after being smashed into the ship's control panel by a robot that blows up right afterwards. And now with Salen taking his last breaths, you are given the option to let him die from his wounds or kill him immediately. Interestingly enough, if you happen to kill Salen Kotch in the middle of his speech, you will be rewarded with an achievement titled "You Know Nothing," referring to the famous line in Game of Thrones.
You know nothing, Jon Snow. You know nothing, Jon Snow.
No discussion of iconic Call of Duty characters is complete without Viktor Reznov. A symbol of resilience and determination, Reznov's appearances in World at War and Black Ops bridged the gap between two pivotal eras in the franchise. He first made his debut in World at War, and continued to captivate players through Black Ops and its sequel. Fearless Russian soldier, Reznov stood as a symbol of resilience and bravery. His epic journey included leading players through the brutal Eastern Front, orchestrating an elaborate plan to defeat the German forces and liberate Europe. Reznov's enduring impact on the series lies in his unwavering commitment to justice and his ability to inspire players with his heroic speeches. From the frigid fields of World at War to the running conspiracies of Black Ops, Reznov's legacy echoes as one of the most iconic characters in the Call of Duty universe. Reznov's existence after the Black Ops mission Vorkuta was apparently all through the imagination of Alex Mason. Reznov had reportedly died in the prison breakout in Vorkuta, and the Reznov we see in Black Ops 1 and 2 is actually the result of Mason's dark passenger that he picked up during his lobotomy that turned him into a Russian sleeper agent. Viktor Reznov is also voiced by the greatest living actor to work with Call of Duty, Gary Oldman, who also plays Commissioner Gordon in the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy, as well as Harry Truman in the Oppenheimer film. The perfect Hollywood legend to play the legend that is Viktor Reznov. Enter the antagonist, the mastermind, Vladimir Makarov. A character whose ruthlessness and cunning strategies made him one of the most memorable villains in the Call of Duty franchise. His actions set the stage for some of the most intense conflicts. According to Modern Warfare 3's campaign, Makarov has been Zakhaev's right hand since as far back as the day they attempted his assassination. Makarov, the ominous right hand to Imran Zakhaev, emerged as a sinister force in the Call of Duty narrative. Makarov was the perfect villain for a game like Call of Duty. He was a textbook terrorist, from orchestrating the detonation of a nuclear bomb in the Middle East to staging a tragic mass shooting to frame the United States. Makarov manipulated events to trigger global conflict. His cunning plans reached a tragic climax when he ruthlessly had SOAP killed, a beloved protagonist. Makarov's calculated schemes propelled him to power, but his insidious actions eventually led to his downfall. He would go down in the game's history as the most sinister and intelligent villain in the franchise. Although he did get away with starting several wars, the war between him and Captain Price would be the only war he loses. Makarov's death was the end of a long and painful journey. Now let's acknowledge the newer additions. Farah Karim, the courageous leader of the Urzikshtani Liberation Force from Modern Warfare 2019. Showcasing the strength of a woman on the front lines, Farah, a resilient character in Call of Duty, stands out for her strength and determination. From surviving a chemical attack in her youth to leading a rebellion against an oppressive regime, Farah's journey is a testament to her indomitable spirit. Her narrative adds depth to the Call of Duty series, offering players a compelling and empowering protagonist. Farah teamed up with the crew to take down Barkov's gas factory to put an end to his tyranny. Fueled by the revelation from Hadir about Barkov's true colors, Farah confronted Barkov on his helicopter. In a tense moment, she avenged her family and Urzikstan by delivering justice to the ruthless Barkov, ending his reign of terror. Farah is the most noteworthy character in the newest Modern Warfare installments, and she has well made her mark on the franchise. To end the reign of villainy in this video, we will send it off with the chaotic terrorist Raul Menendez, and how this one character completely descended into madness. A character driven by a tragic past, Menendez blurred the lines between hero and villain, creating a morally gray narrative that challenged players. Initially targeted for trafficking weapons to Kravchenko, Menendez's life takes a dark turn in a 1986 raid led by Frank Woods and Alex Mason. In a vengeful plot, Menendez survives an explosion that seemingly claims his sister's life, sparking a vendetta against Woods. Consequently, Raul Menendez kidnapped Mason and deceivingly disguised him as a priority target, where Frank Woods is tasked to take out the target. After being shocked by the revelation that the target was not Menendez but instead Alex Mason, Frank would be enraged at what Raul tricked him into doing. However, the madness of Menendez didn't end there, as he would torture and kill Agent Hudson in front of Woods, preaching to him that his life would be consumed by absolute loss.
Your life will be consumed by absolute loss.
Menendez is very easily the most cold-blooded villain in the entire series. Although his efforts are fueled by rage, I don't believe the deceit and horror that Menendez brought to the table was equal to the loss he experienced. But Menendez was an example of tyranny at its most vulnerable state. Fast forward to 2025, he would make efforts to take control of the AI-controlled US arsenal and use it to extend his terrorism. The game gives you options for its finale. If you are aware of the good ending, then you would remember it with Karma being alive to brag about her success with Solarium on national television, while Menendez watches in shame and agony, smashing his head into the screen. However, the canonical ending actually involves shooting Menendez at the end of the game, which sets up the events for the Black Ops 3 campaign, Raul Menendez, a mastermind of terror, forever etched his name in the annals of Call of Duty history, embodying the complex interplay between vengeance and tyranny. Finally, I saved the best for last, the enigmatic Ghost. Lieutenant Simon Riley was the heart and soul of Modern Warfare 2's Task Force 141. His appeal lies in his anonymity beneath the haunting skull mask, a character whose fate still echoes in the minds of fans, a fate that is still deemed one of the most noteworthy deaths in not just the game, but in the industry as a whole. While the character we know and love merely existed for one single game, he made the longest lasting impression, to the point where the newest editions of Modern Warfare didn't dare to kill off the beloved character just yet. According to the Call of Duty wiki, Simon joined the military after seeing the September 11th attacks on the US, where he was then accepted into the Special Air Service. The first time we see Ghost isn't nearly as special as the first time we see Woods, Price, or Reznov, but his first impression does leave the player to believe that he has a special set of skills outside of combat. Ghost also has a recognizable voice actor that is actually used in all three Modern Warfare games. In the first Modern Warfare, the voice actor plays Gaz. In Modern Warfare 3, he plays an SAS soldier in the mission Mind the Gap. So while Ghost was not there for every Modern Warfare title, the spirit behind his voice still existed throughout the trilogy. I wish there was more I could say about Ghost, but the truth is that part of what makes him so interesting is the fact that he is mostly mysterious, and is more focused on his image as a stealth operative. Simon Ghost Riley, the enigmatic and iconic figure, stands as the crown jewel of Call of Duty characters, earning the title as the franchise's most beloved and enduring persona. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of Call of Duty's iconic characters. If you stayed for the whole video, I do appreciate your time. Who was your favorite character?